Hello everybody, welcome back to another video with me. I'm Nikki and we're making things for our friends and family here. Today we're making another fancy thing. Okay, you'll find all the information down below. Just click the links, follow along, and let's just get started. What we're gonna do, we're making a tea bag holder. The person who loves tea, this is for them. You can make this project and also make them some fabric coasters or mug rugs to go along with that. So if you haven't seen my video on fabric coasters, go ahead, watch that video as well. So you can click the link and you can see that, okay? But this is a pretty quick and cool gift you can give someone, okay? So, let's start off with putting the interface. You only have one piece of interface. You can decide if you want to put it on the outer or the inner. I'm going to adhere the interface to the outer portion, the outer fabric. No particular reason why. I'm just choosing to do that. I really like this print because when I went to London, it just, it just reminds me of when we were in London and Paris, and of course, drinking tea. So that's why I chose this material. I forgot where I got this fabric from. Oh, probably Joann's. I think it was Joann's when it was new. Okay, now that we have done that, what I want you to do is grab the portions. You have three pieces of fabric that have the same measurements. Okay, the ones that 7 inches by the 6.5. Go ahead, and what we want to do is we want to open this up. We want to put an interface. Let's do this first. Let's fold this over to ensure that we make this even. Okay, what we want to do is we want to stick interface inside. We only need interface on one side of this. Okay, and so what we're going to do, I put the glue side down. I could move this over a bit. I put the glue side down. So I'm going to iron right on top here. No need to have interface on the entire portion. I'm going to cut that off when we're done here. Go ahead and do the same thing to the other three pieces. All we're doing is giving structure to our pockets that's going to hold our tea bags. This is great if someone likes to, just go to a restaurant or someplace, maybe a friend's house, and they just want to get hot water. Okay, and travel with your own tea. I drink a lot of different types of tea. Not kidding. Let me iron this over. The reason that I like to iron these is so that I know where my fold is, and so I know at what point I want to put my interface up to. Glue side down, and I am folding it. Okay, so I know I want my interface to head right up to that line, right up to the edge of the fabric, the fold. Okay. And now, because I cut my interface a little large, I'm not worried about the bottom ones. I'm just clipping this off. What we are going to do is we're going to put a top stitch right across the top of these pieces. This is what will be our pockets. Okay, so on all three of them, what we want to do is go 1/8 of an inch across the entire length of these pockets. Okay. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you're going to see that today I'm actually using, which I rarely do, I am using a printed lining. I normally like to use solids, but I thought about putting like a paisley flower lining just because of the whole London thing. And then I changed my mind because I don't know. I just didn't want to do the flowers. Okay, so we have some nice back stitching on, some nice top stitching. All right, we have our lining piece. This is my lining. And at this point, what I want to do is I want to strategically, well, let's see. I'm going to place these, I'm just feeling it out right now. I want my bottom pocket to line up with the bottom raw edge. But what I want to do is put this about 1 inch from the top. Okay, let's see. My first pocket, I want to be about 1 inch. I'm going to feel this out as we go along. Okay, 1 inch, that's good. I'm going to pin this into place. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be top stitching. Let's go ahead and prep this, and what we're going to do is put a top stitch across the bottom. I did my interface is too long. You know what, just for the purpose of not confusing you guys, I'm also going to cut this portion of my interface. Okay. All right. So what we want to do is we want to connect this layer of fabric, connect it to your lining. I'm going to sew right across, put a stitch line. We're not going to see that stitch line. It's just in there so that we can hold the tea bags. We're doing the same thing for the next one. Okay. Boy. All right. We want to make sure, see, this is going to go here. This is going to line up with the bottom raw edge. We're not going to worry about stitching the bottom raw edge. Let's see something here. So here's the top. That goes in there well. And let's see for the bottom. For the next one. Okay, that works out to be good. All right. Okay, I'll tell you how many inches that is. Let me just pin it because I'm really eyeballing it. I'll put measurements down below. So, well, actually, you're going to get it now. So from the one that we stitched, you want to go, that's about 1.5 inches down. Yep, that's 1.5 inches down. Let's stitch right across so we can hold this pocket in place. And last but not least, we have this one that we're not going to worry about, but we will pin it in place. Pin it on the left and right side because we need to do something in the middle there. All right, taking that out. What we want to do is let's fold this over so that we can get the middle. I'm going to finger press it. Of course, we'll be cutting stragglies. Okay, you know what? Let me, because I have a few layers here, I'm going to fold it and I'm going to iron it so I can get a really clear picture of where the middle is. We want to sew a line down that middle. Okay, that's better. Okay, we're going to sew a straight line all the way down, stopping at the top portion. You know what? Nope, sew all the way down. It's just going to separate the tea pouches so that they don't slide. see my lining? It's very rare I use pattern lining. Okay, so grab your outer fabric. Okay, we want to put these pretty sides to pretty side, meaning that's our pretty side, this is our pretty side. So it's going to go like this. You are now going to, what we want to do is prep a closure. You now have an option. You can decide, what I am going to do at this point is use ribbon. You can decide what you would like to do as far as closure is concerned. You can use a snap, anything you want. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these ribbons here directly in the middle. And I'm going to adhere this one so it hangs over to the side of each of them. Just a little bit, about 1/4 of an inch for both of them hanging off. And basically they're just lined up right below this pocket right there, right below that second pocket. I'm going to pin this together so it stays in place. You know, let's base stitch them in. So base stitch, and let's move that out the way. Let's base stitch your left side and your right side. I'm not base stitching it to the pocket, I'm base stitching it to the lining. But it doesn't matter because either one, they're going into your seams. That's the short end and this is the longer end. I want to base stitch that as well. And all we need to do at this point is close this up by taking your pretty side, putting it face down. Depending on how long you made your straps, you might need to just tuck them under so that you don't sew them. Okay, tuck them under like that. And we're going to close this up. Go ahead and pin. You have a lot of pins in here, so just be careful. I'm pinning here. We want to sew all the way around. This is the bottom. I'm working upside down here. So we want to sew from the bottom, come all the way around, and we're going to leave a portion at the bottom to flip this right side out. I can see the portion where we left the where the ribbon is hanging out. So you can see that portion there where the ribbon is hanging. I'm just back stitching here. Okay. And almost back to the beginning. We're almost done making a pretty quick but special stocking stuffer. Clip off those ends. Now, if you use something thick, then you might want to go ahead and, I'll just clip them. You might want to go ahead and clip your ribbon, or, you know, if you chose to use a hair tie and put a button, you know, just be mindful of that when you're clipping. Okay, so between your lining and your fabric here, what I'm doing is I am searching for those pins. You can flip it right side out with the pins if you want to. You know, I'm just going to go ahead and do that. If you want to, remove your pins beforehand. Let me turn this way so I can see where the pins are located. Might save you a lot of ouching. Okay. All right. Yep, that just flew out. Okay, one more pin to go. Okay. Now I'm going to turn this right side out. We want to be able to iron it. Get your chopstick if you need to. I'm going to grab my chopstick. Okay. See, I need my chopstick. So I'm telling you guys, if you don't have a turner, I mean, these things are great. You can use a pencil with an eraser if you have to, but these things are perfect. And they're free if you get Chinese food. Okay. God, I can't even tell you how much I use these. I mean, if you want to purchase a dowel, you can do that, but they're not pointy at the end. All right. Clipping these. Clipping my stragglies. Go ahead and give it a nice press. If you have enough of the same fabric, you can do a coasters or mug rug with the same material. That would be a really nice gift. I'm tucking in that bottom. What we're going to do at this point, we're going to just top stitch all around. We want to go all the way around to top stitch it, and what it's going to do, it's going to give a little extra love to the ribbon space, but also give it that final look. I'm going to sew it on my outer fabric. I like to just see that the outer part will come out looking really nice. It's going to close up that that bottom part as well, and I'm sewing at 1/8 of an inch. Obviously, you're sewing through multiple layers right now. Let me sew a tiny bit more. Okay. Before I get to the end, I'm gonna just snip off my long threads, just so that it doesn't create a knot down at the end. Okay, pull that through. I'll get to it. Okay. Back stitching. All right, and we are done. Talk about making fancy things. Oh, so I'll just show you this one. Fold it and give it a press. I'll do that. I'll give it a press. Okay. See, now it's going to stay closed because of that pellon in there. Okay. But now, let's see. Now you guys want to see. I'm just putting tea bags in here just to fill them. All right, it can hold another behind it. See, if I went like this, you can hold more, but I don't know if somebody actually drinks that much. Okay, let's just see. I want to see. Yeah, so right there in the top one, I have actually 2 stacked in there. Okay, so that's about it. Look at that. Now, if you want to stop these ends from fraying, you can put fray check on it, or you can just tie the ends in a knot. All I'm going to do, I'm just going to snip this here. Or I'll probably end up, you know, putting a tie in it. I don't know. So right now I'm just clipping a triangle. Just because I think it's going to make me feel better, that it's going to look good. You see that? And someone can carry this with them. You could give it to them, like I said, give it to them as a quick gift to go along with, you know, if you want to give them fabric coasters or a mug rug. You could even give them a pot holder with the same design. The idea is, you know, just make it personalized and fancy. Okay, so, you know, put a ribbon, put, you know, if you want to add a hair tie instead of using ribbons, if you want to put a hair tie and then put a button on the other side, go ahead. But, yeah. This is another great quick project you can make. All right, you could actually fill it with their favorite teas as well. All right, so that is about all for this video. I will see you back for the next one. All right, bye guys.